I have not been commissioned by the Senator Elizabeth Warren campaign, Warren 2020 campaign, but I should have been. Yeah, I should have been. I should have been a consultant for her. And it's not because I have such a deep, long track record of political acumen. It's because I just have a gut feeling about things sometimes, and I'm pretty good on my feet. And I understand people. Like, this show has given me an exposure to thousands, dare I say, millions of people over the years. So many people I've talked to, interacted with, and Elizabeth Warren just doesn't get it. Here goes the clip, and this will show the epitome of what I'm talking about. I want to see if you see what's wrong with Elizabeth Warren's strategy and the way her political IQ.
That's corruption. It's about the influence of money. And that's a big part of what's at the heart of this impeachment trial.
So, Senator, I want to get you on a campaign. I want to get a question to you on a campaign issue. Just last night, there was a video that surfaced. A lot of people are talking about it today. It's of a father who approached you at an event and said, you know, it's not fair. I've saved for my daughter's college education, and now you're talking about forgiving and helping out all the people who didn't save. For Americans who are in that father's position, who felt they did the right thing and you're bailing out those who didn't, what's your response?
Look, we build a future going forward by making it better. By that same logic, what would we have done? Not started Social Security because we didn't start it last week for you or last month for you? Think of it this way. When I was growing up, I wanted to be a public school teacher. My family had no money.
Are you saying tough luck to these people, Senator?
No. What I'm saying is there was a $50 a semester option for me. I was able to go to college and become a public school teacher because America had invested in a $50 a semester option for me. Today, that's not available. And our kids have taken on $1.5 trillion in student loan debt. We have got to back that up and say we're doing better going forward, that we're not going to say the next generation has to take on $2 trillion in debt and what? The next one, $3 trillion or $4 trillion or $5 trillion? We don't build in America by saddling our kids with debt. We build in America by saying we're going to open up those opportunities for kids to be able to get an education without getting crushed by student loan debt.
All right, Senator, thank you very much. We're up against the wall here.
Just does not have the IQ of a politician that really knows how to just nail it. Elizabeth Warren said all the right things, and she's right, and she's on the right side of this. But she didn't own it. Elizabeth Warren doesn't lean in. She's too hesitant. Elizabeth Warren, you have a jackass in your face. Not disagreeing that college is too high. If college wasn't too high, he wouldn't be there complaining about the fact that he had to save all this money for his daughter to go. So he agrees with you in principle. His problem is he's a selfish bastard who thinks that other people who can't afford it just didn't care. Like they were all just smoking, a bunch of weed and just partying and, throwing money out the window. Woo, look at us, Mardi Gras, Like they all spent their money on, cruises to the Bahamas. How could you be so right but not lean in and own it? It's yours to own. You're right. What are you going to do? Oh, well, we can't free these slaves because there were other slaves that didn't have freedom. Wouldn't be right to free these slaves and free slaves now. What about the slaves that lived, 50 years ago who weren't free? What? I mean, it's the dumbest argument in the world, and you're right. You're absolutely right. It makes no damn sense. It's unethical, it's unconscionable, and it's not a valid argument. Oh, well, we could have cured polio, but other kids died of it, so it wouldn't be fair to let you guys live because, those kids died. Huh? You should have embarrassed the hell out of this father, and you should have embarrassed Mr. Punchable Face, that guy from CBS with the punchable face. You should have embarrassed the hell out of him, too. Well, what are you trying to say? They should just tough it out? No, what I'm trying to say, doofus, is that in America, we try to do better. We want better for each generation. We don't want to continue bad practices or practices that leave thousands, if not millions of Americans out in the cold because of bad policy decisions before. We intend to do better as time goes on. We want our children to do better. We don't want them to do worse because of bad policies in the past. We should be striving to make the country better and striving to make it better for our children and their children and their children. That's the whole purpose of having a country. And if you don't have that type of mindset, then you don't need to be in governance, nor do you need to be an American. Or I dare say a citizen of any country. You need to go live on an island somewhere where you can keep all the coconuts, Johnson, or something like that, but you lean in and you give them the business. Tiptoeing around. So here we go. This is part of the reason why Elizabeth Warren why she backed away from Medicare for All, afraid to own it. Didn't want to tell Pete Buttigieg to shove it up his ass or to shove it up his nose. Shove it up his nose, Johnson. Can't say certain things. Hey, look, man, I should be able to use the same vernacular I would use for anyone else without people coming to me like, oh, God, Tim, you said Andrew Yang beats Pete. You can't say that. Well, no, I will say that because I'd say it for... I'm sorry, I got off track. The point is, Elizabeth Warren, it's not that she's not a smart lady. She's a smart lady. She just doesn't commit to anything. She's not steady on anything. She doesn't lean in on anything. And you know what that means? That means voters don't trust her. Like when you're going into battle, you want somebody who's going to go in the battle with you, lead the way, show you how it's done, and fight to the bitter end. That's somebody who's like, oh, gee, where's Tim Black? Oh, Tim Black, there you go again. Picking on the lady from Oklahoma. Hey, you know what I did? I worked really hard. I worked really hard to be where I am. And so what if I don't have heart? So what if I'm not tough? I talk a tough game, and that's half the battle. I stand up when I'm ready to stand up. I don't feel like standing up. So what? That's a big guy. He was talking loud. What, I'm supposed to talk back to him? I'm on the CBS. They're saying stupid stuff. I know it's stupid. What am I supposed to do? Challenge their moral authority? I'm not going to do that. You're not going to make me stand up for stuff, okay? I don't stand up for anyone, and that's final. And that's why you can't be my nominee. That's why I can't support you. Plans or no plans. Plans mean nothing if I don't think you're going to carry out any of that shit. It's not worth the paper it's written on if the person with the plan doesn't plan to execute. All right.